Hey everyone, it's Kelsey, aka Real with Mrs. B, and this is part 2 of my long belated Q&A video. So part 1, you guys can see in the iCard, I think over here, it might be over there, but one of those places, go watch that. These are all of the questions from my 1,000 subscriber video, and I would love to do these more often, so please leave your questions down below. So I'm going to jump right in with this second half of the questions. I had lots of them. So this one is from Pockets 1337. And they asked, do you prefer cash envelopes or are you better at tracking your finances electronically? Well, when I did post my 1,000 subscriber video, we were using cash envelopes for our sinking funds. I'm not the type of person to carry cash along with me everywhere. When I was a waitress, I did, and I do with the dog walking money that I make. But otherwise, I pay with debit card for like everything. So, but we did have our sinking funds in envelopes in our safe until they got a little bit too big that I didn't feel quite comfortable having them in our house, especially when we've already had an apartment fire one time. That kind of worried me having that money lying around. So I decided to put those into an electronic sinking fund, just a savings account, and then I've been tracking them on Excel, and I've been doing it for a couple months now, and it's going pretty well. So I definitely prefer using a debit card, and I like having all of my sinking funds in a savings account. All right, next question is from Antoinette Nakatani. She said, aloha, love your videos. Thank you so much, Antoinette. Do you use another budget program or only Every Dollar? Well, I'm sure you guys are quite aware that I love the free Every Dollar app and desktop version. Otherwise, I do use like the Google Sheets, or it's like Excel, for tracking our sinking funds and tracking our debt snowball, if you consider that a budget program. And then more recently, I have got into undebt.it, or I have gotten into undebt.it, which you can put in all of your debts and how much you plan on paying every single month, and it will track how long until you're going to be debt-free, and it has a lot of awesome features. It's actually been updated kind of recently, unless I was using the wrong one before. But anyway, it is awesome, so I definitely suggest checking that out. I will leave that in the description box below. Next is from Lucy Chave. Sorry if I said that wrong. Congratulations. Question: what tips do you have for beginners on budgeting? Well, make a budget and do whatever you can to stick to it. You got to track everything. So, I mean, you just got to go 2 feet in. Once you make a budget and you actually see where your money is going, it may take several months to hone in on like how much you really need for every category and get things correct, but you have to track everything. See where your money is going. You have to put a name to all of your bills that are coming in, or all your money that's coming in. Tell your money where to go, and once you do that, you'll be on the right track to financial freedom. All right, next question from Laura Gomes. How do you stay focused? I'm struggling to do a low spend month right now, and it's difficult for me to not spend when it's convenient. Well, I stay focused because I have a YouTube channel and I have people watching me, and I have to say everything that I purchase on here. Or I choose to, but it keeps me accountable and really focused on reaching our goals. And then just thinking about the future, about all the things that we are working towards, keeps me focused. And then I know it's hard. I'm not perfect by any means, don't get me wrong. But I like seeing, like having that competition, like of getting below the amount I budgeted for, what I planned for, going below that amount, or making more income than I projected. All right, but I hope that your low spend month went well. I know it was a while ago, but I really hope that it went well. Right now, actually, July and August is kind of a low spend month for my husband and I because I am not teaching full time over the summer, and I only got paid 9 months of the year, or 10 months of the year actually, for my teaching job for last year. So we aren't spending as much, and it's I would say though that we really had to cut out how much we were putting towards debt, and that's really discouraging, but I'm looking to it, like, it's only 2 months. We can do it. We can do it. All right, next one is from Chantel White. Yay, 1,000 subscribers. I'm so happy for you. Thank you. So my question is, what would you say to help new budgeters watching your video right now? Same thing as the question before. You gotta make a budget. Go figure out what works best for you. Try them all. Go to everydollar.com. Go make a spreadsheet. Go watch all the amazing other YouTubers that have tutorials on how to make these different types of budgets, and try them out. See what works for you and track everything. Give everything a name and track everything, and you will do great. I know it. All right. Next one, Elizabeth Quintana. Congrats, I'm a new subby, and I hope you're still around. And my question is, have you used any other budgeting programs apart from Every Dollar? If so, which one is a good one for beginners? Every Dollar is fantastic for beginners. I'm not an Excel person. The formulas I get really confused with. I don't like seeing all of that. And it's hard, to me, it's harder to keep track of like each transaction. Every Dollar is amazingly simple for beginners. I mean, you can't get any more simple, really. So do it. Go test it out. It's free. And then they have an app. You can do it from your phone. Do all of your transactions immediately as they come in. And also check out undebt.it. And you can track your progress on there. All right, next one, Libby D. Congrats, you deserve it. Thank you so much. I love all of your videos and love following you along your debt-free journey. My question is, what has been the biggest change in your life since you started budgeting? I would say the biggest change is I was never like a meal planner before, and that is some way that I've found that I can really hone in on how much we're spending on food, and I can focus on like making more meals at home, that if we do have a family one day, and then when I'm hosting things, that I can make these great meals for other people, but then I can also do them for really cheap. So meal planning is definitely something that has been a huge change, a game changer too, to our budget, I think, that we save a lot of money that way. All right, next, Home on Holly Street. In your video comparing your January 2017 and January 16 budget, you talked about how your budget was separate from John's. By the way, I will link that up in the iCard that you guys can go check that out. It was 1 year of budgeting. I compared my two budgets a year apart on what things had changed. And then continuing, were you not married yet, or did you keep your money separate after marriage? Any tips for couples combining their finances? You know, I might do a video on that, actually. If you guys are interested, I'll talk about it a little bit more. We did keep our money separate for a while after we were married, actually. We got married in August of 2013, and we combined our finances in, man, what month was that? I'll have to put it down in the comment right here. But it was a while. We have been living together for like 4 years before getting married. And we were so used to splitting everything, splitting rent, splitting, like, you're paying for these utilities, I'm paying for internet, or you're paying for your whatever, and I'm paying for this. And it was just what we were used to, that we just didn't put our finances together. We were aware of how much we were making. We were also on the very same page at the time financially. Like, we were making the same amount, and John didn't have like any debt, and I did. And I think that I felt like the debt was my debt. Even though we were married, I felt like it was my responsibility because I was the one that chose to take out the loans. So it did take a while. It took a lot of conversations and a realization that we're married and what's mine is yours, whether that's good or bad. And tips for combining finances. I think I might have to think about that one and get back to you, actually. We just kind of jumped right in, figured out what bank we were going to go to. We really had to talk about like what our new budget categories were going to be, because we were trying to like do everything equal before, and that's not necessarily the case if someone starts making more money than the other person. And then you have to change your mindset of like I said, like what's yours is mine. Your income is my income. My debt is your debt. So it takes a lot of time, I think. All right, next one, everyday home life. Congrats, seeing you were getting close. My question is John a spender or saver, and has he always been on board with finance goals? I ask this because my husband has no interest in finances. He's supportive and will go along with whatever I present, but it falls on me to make a budget, goals, etc. Just wondering how it is between you two and if there has been any struggles. Thanks, congrats again. Thank you for your congrats. John is, I don't know, he's kind of in the middle. I would say he's more of a saver because like he doesn't really buy things. Like if it was just his income, his budget kind of thing, like I wasn't in the picture, he would have a lot of money saved up because he didn't have debt. And the only things he really buys are like games and like a few like drinks, like entertainment kind of stuff. But I do most of the spending. He wouldn't really buy things for the home, like decorative things. Like if I can't go to Target because I'd come back home with like a bunch of stuff. I'm obsessed with like teacher supplies and organizational stuff. So I just am more of an impulse buyer that way. So I think he's more of a saver. And honestly, I think you're kind of on the same page with me. I don't think that John is like completely uninterested in finances. He is definitely supportive and goes along with whatever I have to say. But yes, it does fall on me for budgeting, and actually I really enjoy it. I don't mind that he's not a part of the budgeting because our budgeting stays pretty consistent. There's just a few things that come up along the way, like like one of our birthdays or anniversary or things like that, which we do talk about. Like I'll say like, is there anything coming up, that I should be aware of? And I'll do the same to him, tell him like what things to expect that are coming up. But yeah, struggle-wise, I don't think it's been too much of a struggle. We did have to have that conversation, like, do you trust that what I'm doing? Like, are you okay with this? Like, I think it just took time, but I think we're at a good place. I don't mind doing all of that. I quite enjoy it, actually. All right, next one from VM Please 24. Congrats. What's your favorite go-to frugal meal? Sometimes I'm like worried that you guys see that I eat like the same meals all the time. It feels like I am really trying to like incorporate like different meals, or at least switch it up every few weeks. But there are several frugal meals that I fall back on. One is Mediterranean orzo. John does not like it like I like it, but that stuff is so good. Maybe I'll do a recipe video on it this week actually, because I'll probably be making it. But it is super easy to make. It's super cheap and very yummy, and it's actually not high in calories at all. It has a good amount of veggies in it, and it's got feta, and feta is fantastic. So definitely that. I could go with pasta, lots of different pasta dishes all the time. And then another one is bean and rice bowls. Just, cilantro lime rice and black beans and some, red pepper and onions and cheese and sour cream, and I'm good to go. That's also really easy to make, and it's very cheap. So I think those are a few of my budget-friendly meals. And actually I have some videos on different meals that I've made that are all pretty frugal. So I will link that somewhere as well. Last one then for this video is from Hello Nurse 13. Congrats, thank you. What is your all-time favorite budgeting tip or hack? I feel like I'm like a broken record, but it's making a budget and sticking with a budget. I don't know what else to say besides that. I then find ways to either increase your income or decrease your spending. And for me, that's meal planning. It's become a hobby. Budgeting, I feel like, has become a hobby. I enjoy doing it, and I guess because of it, I have YouTube, and that's my hobby. But my favorite thing is just using everydollar.com and tracking your spending. So I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but yeah, it's as easy as that. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. I am so sorry for these delayed responses. I promise I will be a lot quicker in the future. Leave any and all questions down below. If they're personal, financial, psychology related, cat related, I really don't care. I'm pretty much an open book, and I love talking with you guys. So leave those questions below, and I will catch you all soon in my next video. Bye.